this threshold where we can really expect that within a generation you can really take care of poverty and you can deal with doubling GDP within 10 years. This is what we know from Southeast Asia, and this is absolutely possible. We are not far from that target. But we have to be conscious of one thing. What is happening right now with our growth is that two ingredients are propulsing it. Commodity prices boom and internal consumption. Most of this internal consumption is actually making service sector explode. But we are moving directly to the service sector, passing industrialization. And as a result, we are having a situation where most of the employment created in the service sector is informal or precarious. It's not really corresponding to the kind of decent jobs that are going to tackle inequalities. The only one that can do that is industrialization. And it's not a coincidence that we are propelling the idea of industrialization. It's because industrialization makes a lot of sense in Africa for a number of reasons. I will give you the number one reason, because of our markets. Our markets are going to be very appealing. And agribusiness in particular, because that's the way we can deal with low productivity in agriculture, the lowest in the world, 1.5 tons per hectare, that has not changed the last 20 years. The only way we are going to deal with that, it's basically agrobusiness. Right. And agrobusiness is also the best to respond to our markets. There is a number of other potential areas, like for instance, Minister Gozi mentioned IT. What we are seeing in some countries in Africa demonstrate the potential, and the young people have a very important role to play, because they are the ones who are demonstrating the way. You just give them a bit of freedom and a lot of things happen. Rebasing of Nigerian economy as also the creative industries as part of that. Why we don't really see the potential of the young people to transform and leapfrog some of the difficulties that we are facing right now. It's something that I think the governments now are starting to really tackle. And I know President Macky Sall has a very strong project on youth employment that is based on these premises.
And finally, to the panelists, sorry, Prime Minister, I just want to move it on so that we can take questions from the floor. The final pillar is agriculture, and you're best placed to speak about it because Ivory Coast, being one of the most developed African countries, has not done it through resources. You've done it purely as an agricultural economy. Tell us how, because most Africans are living or working off the land.
Can I shift to French?
Oh, go ahead. I said this is a
I think that would be easier. That's a vision and a political choice made by the former president of the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire, President Félix Houphouët-Boigny, and I will sit in French. C'est important de le dire.
That is important. It was a deliberate choice that was made by Côte d'Ivoire. We have oil, we have mines and minerals, but the president decided to, first of all, develop agriculture. He indicated that oil and minerals could be a curse. You have, first of all, to invest on agriculture. And that's what he did. And Côte d'Ivoire was far behind in terms of agricultural production, has become one of the biggest production of cocoa, 1.5 million tons of cocoa. So that allows us to have a foundation from which you can launch industrialization. So we are going to further develop agriculture, and from that commodity, we could transform it. It could be an industrial transformed product. We want to reach the transformation of 65% of cocoa in Côte d'Ivoire. Paul Mann is here. We've been working on palm production, oil palm production. We have big fields In Côte d'Ivoire, we want to produce soaps and derivatives from this palm. We've been working on soya production because he wants to produce mayonnaise, and we need local commodities, agricultural commodities, and we can have them in our country. And the new perspective of vision that's been defined by the president, we will be able to create 2,500,000 new jobs. And yes, we have to go through industrializations, but we have to base our industrialization on what we have in our countries, because we have also minerals, oil, and energy production, and we are going to tackle this sector as well. Thank you very much.
Again, I'm ghettoizing you. Young people ahead of 2063, we've just heard young people are shapeshifters, creative industries, communications, ICT. They are inventors and innovators. What are they going to do?
I think, as you were saying, Minister of Finance, a new narrative is under construction in Africa. Of course, people are still dying from starvation. People still get killed for their ideas. But there is also this Africa that is successful, very dynamic. For example, we have champions of mobile cash. Throughout Africa, people can pay their bills online or via their cell phones. And this innovation is even used now in other countries, in France, in the United States. So in the field of technologies, we see many innovation. So we have to find a way to decrease the price of internet access so that we can have more startups and people can be connected.
So these are the thoughts of our panelists of what can be done to enhance human development, but also have the economy support that. I'd like to gather your thoughts, but firstly, just by a show of hands, could I get a sense of how many of us want to ask questions? 3 on this side, 1 here, and 1 there. So those 5 questions are the questions we will take. If we can start with the right side of the room. Please just introduce yourself and ask your question. With all due respect, no posturing, no propaganda, no speeches, just the question.
My name is Patrick Atwanya. I work for Business Day Media. And my question is for the Nigerian Finance Minister. Nigeria, you've talked about the need to build social safety net to help, bring the people on the bottom, give them a base that they won't fall under. And I just want to know, how many people do you plan to reach? How many people are you reaching now? Because I know there's a little social safety net program now. And what will it cost Nigeria to build such a system? Thank you.
There is a question, excuse me, sir, with the microphone. There's a question right here in front of us, in the middle, in the center. Yes, sir?
I just wanted to praise the panelists. This was a great discussions. I know some of them, President Macky Sall, some of the countries are working on the science side. I'm surprised that all throughout the discussion, none of the panelists mentioned science, mathematical sciences, as the backbone of modern technology. Can you say a word to that? Can you catch up to that?
Fantastic.
Thank you very much.
There is a question, a lady who's wearing a beautiful teal outfit. It's blue. Yes, ma'am?
Good day, everyone. My name is Zainab Mahmoud. I'm a global shaper from Kano State here in Nigeria. My question is to the leaders on the panel today. We talk about Africa's population being half of Africa today. My question is, what are you doing to ensure that we, the young people, have a seat on your table, on the table when we're talking about policies for our future? Thank you.
Next to her is a question just behind her.
Good morning. My name is Mfundo Mohammed. I'm a global shaper from the Mbabane Hub. My question is on this issue of infrastructure in Africa, but not just infrastructure within countries. How can Africa create Pan-African infrastructure that will enable easier movement of goods and people in order for us to develop Africa?
Okay. Thank you. And finally, there's a question there on the side of the room, right behind you.
Morning. My name is Joey Shen with Deloitte. What plans are there to have joint